Everyone, welcome to another edition of the Bolt City Podcast. Dave Palais, Josh Palais, and Mario Heron.
And guys, this is your last reminder. It's the last time I'm going to tell you because you need to put it in your calendar, put it in your mom's calendar, your grandmother's calendar, go across the street, put it in your neighbor's calendar because on April 27th on Thursday, that's in 2 days. If you're listening on Wednesday, that is tomorrow. If you're driving to work, you need to stop what you're doing right now, pull over on the side of the road because we don't text and drive, put it in your calendar. That April 27th on Thursday, it is draft day, and we are joining Jason Lockenfora and Brian Baldinger on the Odyssey Draft Show. Coverage starts at 7 p.m. ET and lasts through the whole first round. We'll be on for the 21st pick for the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, you might be asking, where do we see this? You can see this on YouTube. Look up Odyssey Sports. Boom, there'll be us. You'll see beautiful Brian Baldinger and my good friend Jason Lockenfora. And then when the Chargers come with 21st pick, you're going to see Josh Palais looking sharp. You're going to see myself looking sharp. And then they didn't want Dave. But good. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're very much looking forward to it. Make sure you guys tune in. It's going to be a good time. And then also make sure to tune in. We'll have a show post-draft as well, going through everything that happened on draft day. So April 27th, Odyssey Sports YouTube. You can go to twitch.com, search Odyssey Sports. We'll be there and everywhere April 27th. Put in your calendar.
I said put it in your mom's calendar. What are you doing with my phone, son? I'm putting this in your calendar.
Yeah.
Okay, get the hell. Give me my phone back. What the hell's wrong with you? Look, so here's the deal. This is our last show before the draft. So it's kind of exciting. I mean, this is it. This is where we put it all on the table, right? We figure out exactly who we think the Chargers are going to take, and I actually give you everything that we've heard as far as what's going on leading up to the draft. The draft stories are some of the best, right? Good and bad. Some of the draft stories are incredible. Everyone has a story on how they got there, but then at the same time, they're the stories that ruin people's futures. We go, whoa, I didn't see that coming. I think Larry Tunsil is always the first guy I think of when I think of, man, that was a disaster I did not see coming, especially when it came from inside his own house. That was bizarre. And so you're going, here's the number one overall pick. All of a sudden, he falls back about 13 picks, and you're going, that's absolutely incredible. But it happens every year. There's always something that comes up last minute where you're going, why is this guy falling? This has been a bad week for guys like CJ Stroud, where, again, he has not played a game in the last week, but all of a sudden he is falling like you can't believe. There's still some people who believe CJ Stroud's going number one, but then the guy that is going up like crazy right now is Will Levis, Mario's guy, the guy they said you're going to see this guy in a Colts uniform. I don't know why. Maybe because he played at Kentucky, Mario, but I keep thinking this guy looks like a Colt to me. But it is interesting to see what is happening. I said we start right now with Will Levis because everyone who follows on social media saw that crazy odds on what's happening with Will Levis and what he's been told. Remember this before Mario starts talking, that Bryce Young has not been told that he is going number one overall. And even though everyone thinks Bryce Young is going number one, he has not been told about that by the franchise that he is the first pick in the draft.
Yeah.
Mario, why don't you talk about the Will Levis? No, talk about the Will Levis story about Reddit today.
Yeah. So it came out that on Reddit, which I don't look, I'm not the biggest Reddit person, but maybe don't take everything for granted that you see on there. So this person on Reddit by Sale Agreeable 2834, credible guy, I guess. Will Levis is currently plus 4,000 to be the first overall pick. Well, ladies and gentlemen, he's telling friends and family Carolina will in fact take him on Thursday. You're welcome. So that was said, and then everywhere you just saw like just money coming in, just gambling wise. And he went from a plus 4,000 to go number one to plus 400 this morning. So a lot of money come in.
Did you place a bet?
I did not place a bet on Levis. No, I'm not gonna light my money on fire. I'm all set. Thank you though. It's weird. It's weird that this just came in. The fact that some random guy on Reddit like just did that. Like this sounds like a prank. Like one of my friends would pull. Like this is gonna be really fun. Like if one of my friends was top 10 draft prospect, I guarantee you, probably me or one of my other closest friends would think it'd be pretty funny to go on Reddit and be like, he's told us he's going number one and just kind of see what happens. But it's stupid. It doesn't make any sense to me, at least. I think Bryce Young's a very, very clear guy to go number one. What do you guys think? I mean, a Reddit user causing this much chaos. Shout out to that guy. That guy needs to be picked up by a news outlet, man. He's like the Joe Rogan of Reddit, I guess. what he's done right now.
My question would be, why does anybody care what some random person says on Reddit? I see things on Twitter all the time about Anthony Richardson is for sure going number one. I have sources. Well, you don't. Nobody has any sources, really. And if Bryce Young was told he's going to be the number one pick, guess what? He wouldn't say it because Bryce Young's not that type of person. Will Levis, on the other hand, would be the most be the guy you'd probably expect to make a Reddit account and put something out there like that, right? Out of all the quarterbacks in the draft, you'd kind of expect that from Will Levis. Not saying that he did it, but if there's one person to say it, it would be Will Levis. I don't think he's going to be the number one pick. Seems like Bryce Young is going to be the number one pick. And if you were to tell the guy that he's going to be drafted the top pick overall, what advantage is that to you and your team? Why would you want to give this person with the second pick and the third pick a leg up on who they want to draft? I would keep it in-house and I wouldn't tell anybody.
Okay, so a couple things. Let's say the guy does know who Will Levis is. Let's say it's not Will Levis. Okay, it's actually Will Levis is a family friend. Why would you do that to a family friend? Why? I don't understand that. Why would you put yourself in this situation? One of the things about sports and even entertainment in general, I hate hanger-oners. You know what I mean? The guys are the hanger-oners, the guys that get in the way. Someone else did the work. Someone else has the athletic ability to get to where they are to get drafted. Why sit there and mess this up? So if he doesn't go number one, Will Levis looks like a failure. What kind of friend are you? You know what I'm saying? You're setting your friend up or your family member up to look like a failure when he doesn't go number one. Let's say all of this is true, that he does go number one. What the hell's Carolina doing? Because no one else has, and I'm not saying a mistake taking Levis. I'm saying no one else has Levis going one. So why would you make the trade to get to number one to say Levis is our guy? If you look at everything we've heard, and not saying that obviously we're in the war room with every team in the NFL, you could have traded back now to realize that everyone thinks Bryce Young's number one and Will Anderson's going here and CJ Stroud's going here. You could have traded back and gained another, second round pick if you were number one and then realize, hey, the guy we want will be available at number 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever. Take a chance. Why wouldn't you get more picks? We told you the story on the last show how the Chargers traded up one pick to get Ryan Leaf. They didn't want Andre Wadsworth. That's who would have fallen to them. They wanted Ryan Leaf. They wanted a quarterback. So they gave up a ton just to move up one spot. So it doesn't make any sense that Levis would go number one overall unless Carolina is that inept as an organization, which, let's be honest, there are a lot of NFL teams that you go, you guys are never going to figure this out. There's certain organizations we think are very smart and certain ones we think are extremely dumb. And Carolina might be one of those organizations. Am I wrong on that? I mean, come on, there's certain teams screw this up all. The Raiders are a dumb team, right? The Chiefs are a smart team. We see this all the time of organizations that mess this up over and over again, year after year. And you just go on, whether it's through free agency, the draft, contracts, they don't know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah, I completely agree. I like to call them dumb teams and teams you gotta call when you kind of in a desperate situation that can really take advantage of them. Call them, that's just always a good move on any end. The Will Levis thing, it makes zero sense to me. I get Mitch Trubisky vibes all around that. Kind of like, he's this Josh Allen comparison, and it's like he's this great athlete but doesn't run too much and just big arm. I'm just not buying any of it. There's something that really, really scares me about Will Levis when he goes from around 400 rushing yards last year to this year. He has negative 120. Like, what does that scream out? Running QB is a really big part of the college football game. It's big in the NFL too, but not as big. So what does that say to me? He's known to be a runner and a good athlete. So he wasn't willing to run, wasn't willing to go an extra step to be better for his team. He was trying to easy the hits for his NFL career. I mean, good for you. At the same time, you're in the SEC, baby. Like, you got to kind of perform every single week, and you're facing the top teams in college football, and you lay an egg and you kind of shield yourself, which that has a big red flag to me. I don't really like that at all. There's something else too I saw about him that this is from the Athletic. Random QB coach in the league was saying, when you talk to some players that played with him, you don't kind of hear what you hear about like a Max Duggan or even a, Bryce Young. There's a guard on TCU that kept saying, I'd die for Max Duggan. Like, I would literally die for him. I love that man. And he's like, there was nothing even close to that coming from Kentucky. So when you have something like that too, where it's like, all right, he's kind of a reach for potential and skill wise, But at least, he's a good guy in the locker room. I'm not saying he's a terrible guy in the locker room. Don't know him personally, but I'm saying if there isn't any Kentucky players that are going out of the way to say this guy's a great guy, and then I look at the rushing stats as well, and it kind of seems like he's hindering hits, then yeah, it's going to make me kind of go a little bit pause on the so-called next Josh Allen.
Yeah, the so-called next Josh Allen. Give me a break. Where do you evaluate a quarterback in terms of his actual production and his potential? Because if we're going to look at actual production, you'd say the third best quarterback in the draft is Hendon Hooker from Tennessee. Hendon Hooker in the last 2 seasons had 58 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. Will Levis in the last 2 seasons had 46 touchdowns and 23 interceptions. Last time I checked, Tennessee and Kentucky both playing the SEC East, so they're playing the same teams. Why would you want to draft a guy like Hendon Hooker who beat a team like Alabama, who's proved over and over again that he makes smart decisions and he's a good player? Yeah, he had a season-ending injury, but he's recovered already. He's ready to go. I would definitely go with the smart pick. We've heard stories about Will Levis off the field not making the smartest decisions, trashing Lexington, Kentucky right after he leaves school, saying the food there sucks. Okay, dude, who asked? You weirdo. Will Levis to me is just the kind of the pick you don't want to make if he's going to be your franchise quarterback. If you're going to go with a receiver or a running back or a guy that's really skillful, go with the guy that has a weird personality. But if it's a quarterback, why would you make that choice?
So it's funny. We did comparisons to him last show. At least I did when I said I thought he was more of a Brady Quinn type, where it looks like the guy's fallen in love with his body. The guy can't get away from the mirror. I mean, he's one of those guys that looks like he's working out like crazy, loves the mirror, and, has the big arm. The guy that, thinking about it, just looking at Mario, because Mario's in Indiana right now, made me think of the guy from Santa Claus, Indiana. That's Jay Cutler. Oh. Big arm, right? Supposed to be a bright guy, a little weird. People look at him with the personality of, how close is he to his teammates? Is he the kind of guy you hang out with? Is he the kind of guy to lead a locker room? Am I wrong on that when you think that, hey, maybe he's a Jay Cutler type guy?
100%. I could definitely see it. Yeah, that checks out. I'm also, can I just say this too? I'm so freaking sick of these videos of it's Will Levis, it's Anthony Richardson. They did this with Cardell Jones. One knee, chucks it 60 yards. Congratulations. I sure hope you have a great arm. Welcome to the NFL. Like those things don't do anything to me. Like Odell Beckham Jr. can also chuck the ball 40 yards, but I just want to know if you can hit a guy on a post in a window. Like, that's just what I care about. Like, that thing sends me every time. And when, you have that tweet out and someone's like, people really skipped out on this guy. The 32 starting quarterbacks in the league can probably all do that. It's not that impressive. It's impressive, but, like, give me a freaking break. If we're going to draft people just off that, then, like, what? We're going to draft linemen about how many times you rep 225? Oh, you can do it 30 times drafting you? Yeah, it's not how that freaking works. There's, like, a lot of other crap that goes into it. But keep posting the freaking chucking off of one knee.
The best guy I've ever seen. Okay, sorry,
Go.
Josh, real quick. You guys aren't going to remember the name, but Josh is in Tennessee right now, so I'm sure he's heard the name. Heath Schuler. Heath Schuler was drafted very early by the Washington Redskins from Tennessee. He could throw the ball from 55, 60 yards out on one knee and hit the goalpost. Dude, what the hell, dude? Heath Schuler was garbage. You know what I mean? He was garbage. It doesn't mean anything. And anyone who says that, well, that guy can throw the ball 80 yards, 85 yards like Jamarcus Russell. There's not a receiver in the NFL who can run 85 yards and let the quarterback throw it before the quarterback is sacked. It doesn't happen. It doesn't matter. It's all decision-making, reading defenses, what you are under pressure. Can you hit guys? Can you make the right decisions? It's quarterback play. I tell you, who had great quarterback play, and we goof on him all the time because he's 100? It's Stetson Bennett. The guy made great decisions. But at the same time, Stetson Bennett's not going to pass the eyeball test. Number one, he's old as hell. Two is he doesn't have the body type to last. So you're going, he's not the guy. But for, as you guys say, the Anthony Richardsons and the Will Levis guys, man, that's not quarterback play at its highest form in the NFL.
Why would you want to draft a guy that can throw the ball on one knee or makes these great pro day throws? What does that mean to me? Sam Darnold was the other guy. Oh, dude, he looks great with the t-shirt and shorts. Sam Darnold also had a 2-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. Do you think it's going to get better in the NFL? Let's see the guy that makes
and
the
he's
smart
fumbled
decisions.
Like crazy. Yeah.
He sees ghosts. Malik Willis. At this time last year, Malik Willis was the same guy, right? Malik Willis. Oh my God. Look at the throws he makes with a t-shirt and shorts. Did anybody watch Malik Willis last year at the Titans?
It's terrible. Terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible. Probably the worst quarterback in the NFL last year. Before that, Zach Wilson. Remember he made that throw at his pro day everybody freaked out about? What happened to Zach Wilson? Well, he's getting replaced by Aaron Rodgers, who's older than most of my friends' dads. Why would you want a guy like Zach Wilson who sucks off the field? He's obviously a weird guy. Then on the field, he doesn't make the right decisions. You don't want those guys. Will Levis, to me, is the most Josh Rosen-like quarterback in this draft. Josh Rosen was the guy that told you off the field, I'm the best. I'm the best. I went to UCLA. I'm also the smartest. Will Levis is that guy. I would stay away from him, and I just wouldn't want my quarterback to be like that. I want you guys to talk about, though, Aaron Rodgers, because I believe the Jets got fleeced. You can't tell me you're going to give up a first-round pick and a second-round pick for a guy that doesn't know if he's going to play from day to day. Do you guys agree or disagree with me?
Go ahead, Mario.
Yeah. So I agree with you. I think the Jets just gave up a lot. You had to give up a lot. Like you didn't really have a choice in this situation at all. But at the same time, giving up a pick swap, a second-round pick, a sixth-round pick, and a 2024 conditional second-round pick, which is going to be a first because there's no way Rodgers only plays 65 or less snaps this year. Like he's going to play more than that. If people are wondering, since 2018, he has played 16 games every single season. Last year he played 17. So he's not a quarterback that gets hurt very much. He's going to be playing. So it's pretty much you giving up 2 firsts, getting a first back, a 5th overall pick, and Aaron Rodgers. That's great. But this guy had to do 4 days of darkness to figure out if he wants to get paid $50 million or not. That's like what you're that's what you're getting. Like you're getting a guy that was going to retire. That's what you're getting. You could get 1 year out of him, and then you're back in square one in a division where all 3 other teams, you could argue, have their QBs for the future. So it's like you're going to have, 1 year of competition versus Josh Allen, Tua, and Mac Jones. I hate Mac Jones. I don't think he's very good. But still, let's say he takes a jump in any way. You're getting 1 year where you could possibly beat him, and then you're back to square one the next time. And then you don't have the draft capital to do anything with it. I think it was a dumb move by just the Jets. I think they gave up way too much. You had to do it because you had to get Rodgers. But at the same time, you're giving up a lot for a 2-year window, if that, of success. If you think Rodgers is going to be a Brady and play until he's 46, you're a clown. That's just so not going to happen. He's going to be out in, at the most 2 if everything goes well. At the most. Other than that, he's out of there. I think Packers, I want to punch myself in the face saying that, found themselves in a really, really good spot. You got a lot back. If Jordan Love's not it, you have enough assets where you can trade up next year and get Caleb Williams or Drake May. Sucks to say because I really wish Green Bay lost more on this, and maybe it was like the Brett Favre trade where they give up like a 4th pick. But what are you gonna do? Beggars can't be choosers.
Okay, first of all, Jordan Love is not it. Okay,
he's not it. I don't agree. Yeah, I don't think he is either.
Yeah, Jordan Love stinks. Okay. So real quick, the draft this year, 2023, if I'm not mistaken, didn't the Packers and Jets just change first-round picks? It wasn't like they got an extra first-round pick. They just changed. It was a difference of like 2 spots. It wasn't like 13 and 15, something like that. It wasn't a major deal, but they just kind of changed picks. So here's the deal. I disagree with you guys on this. I think the Jets made the right move. I don't think the Jets had a choice. The Jets haven't been relevant in forever. The Jets have had 2 winning seasons in the last 13 years. They had one, I think, in 2015. They had a winning season. In 2010, they had a winning season. The Jets haven't done anything. They've been irrelevant in the number 1 media market in the country. Right now, the Jets are relevant. The Jets, with that trade, make themselves relevant. And if they won the division, nobody would be shocked. The Jets actually have done a pretty good job outside of the quarterback position building that franchise right now. So you look at, okay, who are they going with in their division? The Bills are expected to take a step back. Josh Allen right now is, as much as everybody loved him a year ago at this time, there are question marks on what Josh Allen is. The Patriots are the worst team in the division. It's been a long time since the Patriots were by far the worst team in the division. The Tua situation is a giant question mark. So the Dolphins are beatable. The Bills lost a lot of talent. They're in salary cap hell. And the Jets have put themselves in a great position. So whatever they do with Aaron Rodgers, they've made themselves relevant in the number 1 media market. Right now, the Jets are the story, not the Giants. The Jets might be the biggest story out of all the New York teams right now. Bigger than New York Yankees, bigger than the Mets, bigger than the Knicks. All of a sudden, a team that nobody talked about and was always the punchline, all of a sudden is a team that if they made it to the Super Bowl, according to Vegas odds, people are talking about the Jets. They got Aaron Rodgers. Now, I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers is even a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, but he's by far better than anything you have had forever. I mean, I'll be honest with you, you could make an argument right now. Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback the New York Jets have ever had. And people go, what about Joe Namath? I tell you what, why don't you look up Joe Namath's numbers? They're horrifying. Joe Namath's numbers are embarrassing. Joe Namath would not be a starting quarterback in today's NFL. Neither would Terry Bradshaw. I mean, the interception touchdown ratio is either even or it's behind. Both those guys are kind of a joke for today's NFL. So for them getting Aaron Rodgers, to me, I think makes the Jets completely irrelevant, makes them a Super Bowl contending team. And whether he's there 1 year, 2 years, Mario, he's all of a sudden a guy that people are talking about your franchise for the first time. And now I don't know how jersey sales work in the NFL, but I guarantee you, man, no one is going to sell more jerseys this year than Aaron Rodgers on the Jets.
Okay, let's get into this, dude. This is a great conversation. So it was a swap for first-round picks. You're right about that. The Packers get an additional first-round pick and a second-round pick if he plays in most of the games. So you're going to trade a first and a second-round pick.
No, it turns into a first.
Yeah, it turns into a first for if he plays 65% of the games, which to me is a low number.
Snaps, yeah.
The Packers should get that. The Packers should get that pick.
Easily. He can't rest in a bye week.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but they get a 2024 first-round pick if he plays in most of the games on top of a second-round pick, not including the trade swap. So it's a first and a second-round pick for Aaron Rodgers. Yes, that's what I have. Yeah. So you're telling me you're going to trade a first and a second-round pick for Kyrie Irving? You don't know where this guy's going to be. Mario just said he had to go to 4 days of darkness to figure out that he wants $50 million. Why would you give him a first and second-round pick for a guy that's a whack job? When Brett Favre got traded to the Jets, it was for a 4th-round pick that turned into a 2nd-round pick because he played in most of the games. Brett Favre's numbers his last year at the Packers are actually almost identical to Aaron Rodgers' numbers with the Packers in this last season. So you're going to give a first and a second-round pick for that? I just don't see it, man. Aaron Rodgers, to me, watching him last year was not that good. I know he won 2 MVPs before that, but Josh Allen's still the best quarterback in that division. Tua has a better team than the Jets. Let's see how this shakes out. But I'm calling it right now that this is a bad deal. I know you had to do it because you needed a quarterback, but Aaron Rodgers, you can't trust him, man. You don't know what the hell's going to happen. You don't even know if his teammates are going to like him. It's just a weird situation.
I'm interested too in what happens when there's a little bit of a losing skid, because you're gonna have it because you're in the AFC and it's gonna be a battle every week. So a little bit of a losing skid, and there's probably gonna be double the amount of reporters and cameras than there was in Little Wisconsin compared to New York City.
4 times the amount.
And I don't know how to say this without just being blunt about it. I would say that New York people tend to be a little bit, I don't know, douchier and a little bit more straight to the point and a little bit more, not as nice as the good old Wisconsin people are. Like, that's just, it is what it is. So that worries me too. What happens when, you get on a little losing skid there, Aaron, because you're going to get a lot more reporters in you, and the reporters aren't necessarily going to be asking you softballs. So have fun with that. What happens if this year doesn't go well and then you're simply at the same spot as you were last year? Okay. And the other thing with Rodgers, so Rodgers in Packers situation was interesting because a part of it was like he doesn't want to deal with like a young core of receivers, which makes sense. A lot of, QBs at his status wouldn't want to do that, right? You're getting that in New York. Not a New York receiving core 10 times better, 20 times better. Garrett Wilson is an amazing receiver. But it's a young guy that you're dealing with in his second year. So, okay, have fun with that, Aaron, because that's something you said you didn't want in Green Bay. Nathaniel Hackett's coming off one of the worst coaching stints we've ever seen in Denver, and he's going to be the OC. Have fun with that, Aaron. When there's also already questions about Robert's coaching job and coaching kind of decision-making in New York Jets, so have fun with that, Aaron. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And yeah, the Vegas, their odds went up a little bit to win the Super Bowl. But at the same time, you're in the NFC. You're in the AFC. And in the AFC, I would still take the Chiefs over them. I would still take the Bengals over them. I would probably give a slight edge to Buffalo. Maybe have a debate about it. I would honestly probably take the Chargers over them. Like, there's still a lot of things where I would take over them than if you stayed in the NFC, which you never would have. Like, they'd be a title favorite no matter what. They'd shoot up the board and just be close to the Eagles. So there's too much they have to go up against, I think, and then there's too much of outside noise that they're gonna have to face. That it's just going to be huge issues for Aaron. They had to do it. The Jets had to do it. They had no other choice. They had to do it. But in terms of, if you're a Green Bay fan, you got to look at it and go, we just lost a headache, and we're not really going to rebuild. I'd say it's more of a reconstruction, and I would feel pretty comfortable where I'm at.
Green Bay is 100% in a rebuild. You don't think that's a rebuild?
I think they're too good to be in a rebuild.
I don't think Jordan Love can win anything. I would take Jordan Love in that division as the worst quarterback in that division by far.
Do
you think Jordan Love? Dude, you have to have a franchise quarterback to win. You just do. You have to have a franchise quarterback. I mean, honestly, if we were making predictions on that division, Mario, I know you pay attention to it more than Josh and I. You don't think the Packers are the worst team in that division now?
I mean, yeah, there's a strong argument for it. They have the worst odds to win the division right now. Like, they're all the way at the bottom. So, like, IFC Vegas thinks that too. Yeah, when you look at other teams, a lot of teams took steps in the right directions this offseason. So, yeah, I would put them at fourth. But at the same time, that defense is still pretty strong. A receiving core that could take a next step with a coach that has been to back-to-back NFC championship games. And I like what you're saying too, Dave, because technically, in a different way, you're putting a lot of respect on Justin Fields' name, which I gladly accept.
I'll take him over. I'll take Justin Fields in a million years over Jordan Love. I think Jordan Love is terrible. I don't think Jordan Love's an NFL quarterback. And I don't even know if he's good enough to say, hey, remember when Jordan Love was the starter for the Packers and I was your backup? I don't even think he's that guy. I think Jordan Love just stinks. I don't think he's a good player at all. Okay, so real quick, going back to Aaron Rodgers, how many guys in the NFL do you guys consider true franchise quarterbacks? 10? 12 at the most? I mean, seriously. How many franchise quarterbacks are there? You think so? Like, they're franchise quarterbacks.
I can run through them. I can run through them right now.
Okay, think about it as that. I do, but hold on. As you're running through it, okay. I'll say a couple more things. Aaron Rodgers 2 years ago was the MVP in the entire league, right? Last year he went into he went into the season last year, PO'd, man. He was angry as could be before the season even started. He signed a huge contract. Hey, dude, it was his fault that Devontae Adams wasn't a Packer. He could have taken less money. He could have gone the Tom Brady route. He could have gone the Patrick Mahomes route, took less money and kept his best receiver. But instead, he took the money and he pouted like I'm trying not to swear, like a softie, okay? And at the same time, man, that sounds so stupid. But come on, he created his own misery. Like, he built the room and then says, I hate this room. And he refused to help out in any aspect at all of with his receivers and work with those guys. He didn't show up to off-season workouts. He didn't do anything to get on the same page. And he straight out, he was a big B, dude, the whole time. That's what he was. And you know what? Crybaby, everything else. I love the fact that he's going to New York, and going to your point, Mario, they're going to hold him accountable. And Aaron saying to the media, just relax. That's not going to fly in New York. They're not going to say relax and walk away and let's go get something to eat and just leave the room. No, dude, there's another question coming, and there's another one, and there's another one. You are now held accountable for your actions, man. And here you are. You're a member of the New York Jets, the number one media market. You share a stadium with the New York Giants. And guess what, man? If you want to be the king of the show, you better produce, and you better answer the questions correctly, because they're going to hold you accountable for what you are. I love that Aaron right now has gotten himself in this situation. To me, it is going to be fun to watch. It's one of those deals where I was never in a hurry to watch a Jets game. Man, I tell you what, I'm going to watch as many Jets games as I can this year. I'm very curious to know what happens. And I think it was Josh that said it. The talent that the Jets have, or Mario, I think you said it, is so far and above and beyond of what the Packers have. Man, I think the Jets can be fun to watch. Now, would I put my money on the Jets to win the Super Bowl? No, that's not what I'm saying. Yeah. I'm saying the Jets now all of a sudden are a very relevant team in the AFC, and to the point where you're going to say, I want to see what the Jets are going to do next. I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah, no, that division's extremely exciting, and I think you can make an argument right now. It's the most heated division of teams that really have like bad blood with one another. Everybody hates the Patriots.
Hey, the fan bases hate each other. It's awesome.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
It's great.
And they're all close, right? Everyone's like in driving distance. It's fantastic.
Besides Miami, but yeah.
Except Miami.
Sorry. All the people in New York live in Miami anyway. When they,
yeah,
that's true. That's true.
the AFC East and the NFC East are great because it's the East Coast, like you said, and everybody's pissed off all the time. It's the best.
All the time. It's freezing. Cat skin.
Aaron Rodgers isn't the best quarterback in that division. It's Josh Allen. And I don't think Aaron Rodgers is actually a top 5 quarterback in the AFC. Would you guys agree with that?
So Allen, Burrow, Mahomes, Herbert.
Lamar Jackson.
Yeah,
Lamar Jackson?
Jackson. But then who's 4? Who's second? I mean, who's 5?
I think we just named 5.
Pretty close.
Did we not name it 5?
Yeah, you did name 5. I think it's
Herbert.
pretty close.
Herbert, Allen, Burrow. Herbert, Allen, Burrow. Now you guys are screwing me up. Mahomes, Jackson. Yeah, that's 5. That's 5. My bad. A lot going on.
I'll be honest with you.
It's debatable.
The Rodgers Jackson thing is almost a toss up because you don't know what you're going to get from Jackson. You might get Jackson as angry as Aaron Rodgers was last year. You might get a guy that's
Deshaun Watson.
I'm
Watson
not expecting anything from Deshaun Watson. Yeah, it's true. I think Trevor Lawrence gets better. I'm not expecting anything from Deshaun Watson.
Are you sure?
Sorry, I'm not. Hey, a year ago at this time, we were telling you how great Russell Wilson was. He's not there. He's not in the conversation.
That's
true.
My point being is Aaron Rodgers is very good, but I don't think he's a top 5 quarterback in the AFC. The AFC is just so stacked with quarterbacks. And Garrett Wilson, like you said, is a very good player. So is Alan Lazard. Alan Lazard was also the guy he threw under the bus last season, who's now his teammate with the Jets. He's the number 2 receiver. I saw they've been working out together in LA. If you're Alan Lazard, have some pride in yourself, man. He just dissed you in front of everybody. Now you're going to go run to the team that he's with and you're working out with him in the offseason. Julian Edelman's like, dude, give this guy a break. Come on. I think they're the most exciting team to watch next season. Him being on the Jets is going to be awesome with the media. You saw what they did to Zach Wilson and every other quarterback, Mark Sanchez, that goes through the Jets. It's going to be entertaining. He does not handle it well. It's going to be a firestorm. Kyrie Irving, I know I keep jumping to basketball. Kyrie Irving couldn't handle it. That's why he left to Dallas. He's not going to be able to handle this, man. I cannot wait for him to be thrown under the bus and see how he reacts because he never reacts well.
No, I think the Kyrie is a very good comparison where it's just there's going to be some firestorm that's coming. The Jets PR team is about to get hit pretty hard. They're about to take the Adderall. Start studying up. You're gonna have to combat some things going forward.
Can't be worse than the D picks that Favre sent over. You know what I mean?
I mean, I guess you did have a dry run 10 years ago, waiting for this moment to happen again. No pun intended. No pun intended. But gentlemen, it is draft week.
Yeah.
I've looked at I think today I looked at 12 different mock drafts. I came to this conclusion today. I think everyone's just kind of drunk now. If you made a mock draft, I think you're a little banged up now. It's just this is the final week of it, and then people are like, all right, I need to make sure mine's a little bit different. I need to make sure to get this trade in and everything like that. Will Levis is suddenly a good QB. Okay, he's also the same guy that says food's crap and puts freaking mayonnaise in his coffee. So how far are you gonna really trust that guy? I guess. I'm at the point where I think everyone's just kind of hammered, and that's fine because I like people to have a good time. So it's also PCA public service announcement. Yeah, that's right. That if you're looking at any,
PSA.
Yeah. So if you're looking at any mock drafts, just from myself, I would. Yeah, dude, I had to run the quick one. Look, dude, I had to be up late last night working. All right.
All right, you got it.
What I want to say is anyone that's looking at a mock draft now, just shut the laptop and just let it be. Get it coming. Because in reality, no one knows what's going on. Everyone has charges taking someone different. Everyone has, everyone through the board taking someone different. Just get ready for the ride. Throw some bets. Make yourself a stiff cocktail and tune into the Aussie Draft Show. Let's have a good time.
All right, so here we go. All right. When you look at the draft, I just want to add, as it's our last chance to talk about it. Give me the top quarterbacks in what order are you taking them? You're an NFL GM, and you get to choose your quarterbacks you're taking. Which way you going, Josh?
Easy, man. I got this. Bryce Young, number 1. CJ Stroud, number 2. Hendon Hooker, number 3. Will Levis, number 4. And Anthony Richardson, number 5. And a huge gap between Levis and Hooker. I loved watching Hendon Hooker. I can't stand Tennessee football. Hendon Hooker was great. Even though he's 28 years old, he was great last season. And Stetson Bennett, I'll throw him in there as the number 6 quarterback.
That's funny you
Cool.
say that, man. Mine is almost exactly like Josh's. It is exactly like Josh's, and I'll tell you why. I know Mario's having a stroke right now. Here's the deal: the Stetson Bennett. I'm gonna start right there. Okay, I'm not a Georgia guy, but dude, man, there's something to be said for a guy that man can run the system. You know, I'm telling.
Dude, he's gonna be a 6th pick. He's gonna be a
That's
6th
fine.
round pick.
No, that's I understand.
You think
I'm
so?
just telling you.
Is he going to be that
Well,
late?
No, I
Dude,
know where I
he's
think
gonna
he
be
goes.
pretty late.
We should do an over under. I say it goes 5th round, 6th round, 7th round, somewhere in there. My point is with him, the reason I would grab him, you always have to grab a quarterback. I'd honestly keep that guy, dude, on my system. Like I know if my star guy goes down, he's not going to be a turnover machine. That's how I look at it. If my top guy goes down, are we going to just have turnover? I'm not saying he's ever a starter in the NFL at all, but I kind of agree with that. He's not a dumb guy. The Hooker pick is interesting because in years past, you would have said, there's no way in hell you draft a guy that's 25 years old or 26. What is he in real life? I know you said 28, but what is he in real life, Josh?
I think Bennett and Hooker are both 25.
Okay.
I think I'll look it up.
But nowadays, quarterbacks play to age 40. So if Hooker does anything that you think that this guy can play, and he can play. Trust me, I root against the guy every single weekend, but he can play. That I would take him over Anthony Richardson because Anthony Richardson, again, he's the guy that is the Larry English guy, looks great in a shorts and t-shirt and can throw the ball all kind of crazy until you put 11 guys that are trying to stop him from throwing the ball. Then all of a sudden he has trouble. But I don't even think it's that deep of a quarterback draft. I just don't. I think it's 2 guys. I think it's Bryce Young and I think it's CJ Stroud. And anyone who drafts either one of them, I don't disagree with. Obviously, the downfall on Bryce Young is his body. Look how small he is, right? Can he take hits? That's going to be the talk. Can he take hits? Is he going to last? Is he going to be a Tua type guy where he's hurt all the time? CJ Stroud obviously has the better body as far as, he should be able to take hits and get up and continue playing. But there's only question marks. Everyone else to me is a gamble. Mario and I were talking before we started the show, before Josh was in one of the squares, and we were saying, man, if you want to keep your job as a GM in the NFL, just go ahead and draft an offensive lineman. You can't miss. Take the kid from Northwestern. Take the kid from Ohio State. Either way, you're going to keep your job. Fan bases hate that, right? We all want the shiny new toy. We all want the wide receiver, the running back, the quarterback, the cornerback, whatever it is. But when you take an offensive lineman, everybody gets pissed off. But guess what? That guy lasts for 15 years and he protects your most valuable asset.
So we're in trouble, gentlemen. I'm at a lot of differences with you guys.
Good.
First off, you guys big missed on Aiden O'Connell, Purdue. I'd take him over Stetson Bennett 10 times out of 10. Bennett had so much protection. Oh, shut up, dude. He had one of the best freaking passing game coordinators in all of college football. Like, dude, and what Stetson Bennett, who hid behind a great offensive line? No shot, dude. With possibly one of the 2 best tight ends that we've not ever seen, but up there.
Hold on, my phone's going off. Stetson Bennett just threw another touchdown pass against TCU 3 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
would trust any 3 of us to do that too with that Georgia team. So besides the Bennett, I also just can't. I'm not a fan of Bennett. Not a big fan. I had Young, Stroud 1, 2. I absolutely agree. Big gap. I agree with that. I go Richardson, Levis, Hooker. That's who I go with after that.
What's the reasoning on why Hooker's behind them?
So with Anthony Richardson, he had let's be honest, he had nothing for Florida. Like nothing to throw to. Nothing to work with. I believe 2 different head coaches in that time too. I believe that I'll give him. Tape still doesn't shock you. Athletic ability obviously is incredible. They said multiple times it's has the body of Cam Newton, the arm of I think it was arm of Allen, body of Cam Newton, but decision making's bad. And he's obviously a project. He's a project. He's not made for right now. He's a project. But for that reason, I would take him over Levis. I think I would rather take a project with so much more raw talent and just kind of figure it out. That being said, if I'm going to make that move, the head coach, offensive coordinator, and GM need to be on a step-by-step page of how they're going to bring him along. Because if you bring him along and you nail it, congratulations. You got something cooking. And then, we mentioned GM spot. You just earned yourself an extra 30 years as a GM because you got Anthony Richardson right. And do it kind of in a Jalen Hurts way. But if you get it wrong, there's a lot there that you could have done. With Will Levis, the rushing yards, dude, that sticks out like a sore thumb to me. That's why I have him honestly below. Is negative over 100 yards is incredible to me. These drop off he had from kind of coming out with Kentucky to now is big to me. That just gives me a lot of pause. And then with Hendon Hooker too, 25 and off an ACL. That scares me a lot. Like that gives me a little. I think he's a second rounder. Again, he's a project. If it's a second round guy, then yeah, go ahead and go for him. I think he would be a good backup in the league. But when it comes to quarterback rankings, I would trust AR over Levis and over Hooker. So Young, Stroud, big gap. Anthony Richardson, Levis, Hooker is my team. And then I don't know if I had to go one guy after that, I go Aiden O'Connell. I have Purdue.
All right.
Let's hear it, SEC.
I'm going to tell you where I think Hendon Hooker goes. You ready?
Yeah.
He's going number 22 overall. And know he's going what team he's going to at 22? He's going to the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens are going to find their new quarterback. And I'm telling you, do you remember when the Ravens took Lamar Jackson? Everybody freaked out. Everyone kind of gasped. Went, whoa, you took Lamar Jackson? And how many teams regretted it, saying, man, Lamar Jackson was right there, and everybody passed on him. Hendon Hooker's a guy, as you said, he's coming off a terrible knee injury. They have a year basically to get him right. I think Hendon Hooker ends up being the guy. And it's funny looking at different mock drafts. Most people have the Vikings taking Hendon Hooker at 23, one pick after where the Ravens pick. Most people think the Ravens are going to try and keep Lamar Jackson happy and go Quentin Johnson. But look, if this Lamar Jackson thing hasn't been taken care of already, it means that they're far off from getting a deal done. I could see Lamar Jackson finishing out his time with the Ravens. Even though I don't believe he honestly wears a Ravens uniform again. I don't know how that plays out in anybody's best benefit. But I think you got to look for the new quarterback. And I think if you're the Ravens, the only quarterback that's going to be available for you is going to be Hendon Hooker.
Yeah, that'd be cool if that happened. I want Lamar Jackson to go to the Commanders. I think him and Magic Johnson partnered up would be just awesome. But Hendon Hooker for me is the safe pick. I think this is the guy you get that makes the good decisions on the field and off the field. 70% completion percentage. He had more completions last season in an injured year than Anthony Richardson had as an entire Florida career. I want that guy. 70% completion percentage to 54%. I know Anthony Richardson didn't have many people to throw to at Florida. But dude, let's see the production in college. How do you think you're doing the NFL if you can't hit guys in college? It just gets harder there. That's going to be my pause. I could be wrong. I was wrong about Josh Rosen and some other guys. I could be wrong about this too, but I just don't see it with Anthony Richardson. Hendon Hooker's 25. Stetson Bennett's going to be 26 in the middle of next season. But those are guys that make good decisions. And if you get them for 10 years, you get them for 10 years. Like Dave said, guys play into their 40s. It's very possible he could play for 10 years in the NFL.
26, it's just very funny hearing 26 in the middle of his rookie year. It's incredible. I love that.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
All these guys are older than Jalen Hurts. All these guys are older than Jalen. And Jalen's going to his fourth season in the NFL. Yeah, right? It's bizarre. Yeah, it's
I think Stetson Bennett's older than Lamar Jackson. You know that?
Yeah, you might be right.
We're saying.
Oh, he's
Look
not.
that up.
He's not.
I liked it. It sounded good. I was all
sounded good. I was gonna roll with it. I was thinking in my head. I was like trying to think of what Lamar was taking. That's interesting though. I'm surprised you guys haven't made a comment yet because it was right there. That out of all of our quarterbacks, 4 of the 5 were SEC. That was a real layup for you guys right there. Kind of dunk on.
That's what we do.
You know what's interesting?
So
the SEC
like every
used
other
to
season.
used to be criticized for not being a quarterback conference, right? That's what the SEC was always goofed on.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, guys like Peyton Manning and Eli Manning, and then it started kind of taking off.
Joe Burrow.
Stafford.
Joe Burrow. You're right. Joe Burrow. Here's the interesting. A year from right now, guys, it's going to be one easy pick. It's going to be the number 1 overall pick. It's going to be easy, and he's going to be a quarterback, and he's going to be from USC. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's all going to be the race for Caleb Williams. That's what makes this exciting, that we kind of don't know what direction exactly teams are going, but we all know who the number 1 pick is next year.
If Caleb Williams was in this draft, would he be the number 1 overall pick?
Yes.
Ahead of Bryce Young?
Yes.
He would be, right? I agree with that. He would be. Pretty good.
Argument to go against. Okay. It's just quick spin zone. The true Lincoln Riley QBs, the past 2, how have they gone really? Because that's going to be an argument next year. That's going to be an argument next year. The past two, how did that go?
Kyler and Baker.
Baker, yeah. Pure guys, where I'm like, they're really Lincoln Riley guys. I don't really count Hurts. It's more like a 50-50 guy.
Well, this is the first time that Lincoln Riley's had a Heisman Trophy winner come back. You know what I mean?
Well,
I mean,
Baker came back.
I thought Baker left right after he won the Heisman. I thought that's when he ended up going to the Browns after his Heisman season. And then Kyler left after winning the Heisman. You know what I'm saying? And then Jalen, of course, didn't win the Heisman, but he goes pro. So he's had these guys short term. So he's had Caleb now win the Heisman and then come back. So he's had Caleb will be 3 seasons he's had him. Obviously, Oklahoma for 1, USC for 2. So anyway,
weird. All four of those quarterbacks changed schools, which is weird.
Yeah.
Baker, Texas Tech, Kyler, Texas A&M, Jalen, Alabama, Caleb Williams, Oklahoma. They all changed schools.
Yeah.
Which means nothing. Will Levis and Hendon Hooker both changed schools. It doesn't mean anything.
Cam Newton changed schools.
Yeah. Wasn't it too that Will Levis didn't win the starting job at Penn State, right?
Correct.
You know what sucks about that is we can't make the argument anymore. They ran for competition. You can't do that anymore.
Yeah, Joe Burrow didn't win at Ohio State. He had to leave.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Pat Mahomes had to transfer. Right?
Why do people say that? Why do people say you ran from competition? How many years do you think I have left of college eligibility? You think I'm just going to sit here? Why would I do that?
Yeah.
You tell me I can go play in the SEC for Kentucky? Yeah, I'll do that right now. Why would I sit here?
You bet on you bet on yourself.
Yeah.
You bet on yourself to play. I don't know. I don't have an issue with that at all. It's a smart business decision in my opinion.
It's a dumb thing.
So okay.
Dude, if we had any film of anything I did in college and college radio, you guys would rip me a new one. I was a big ran away from competition guy.
Yeah.
I was a big stick through it. I was like, I don't get it. You just get better. You know, that was my big thing. Just get better. What do you know?
I think I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you on a couple parts there. If you're like a high school basketball player and you keep going to different high schools, and if you're in college football and you've been in the transfer portal 3 times, you're running, and I'm not in favor of that. But if you need to leave your situation because a coach left or you want to play now, why would you not do it?
Exactly. I agree with that. Or like we got a guy coming in that's gonna be like more than you're like, all right, I'm gonna just go and get out of here. Yeah.
Happened today.
I didn't say
Notre Dame. Their quarterback left today. He got beat out by Sam Hartman, Tyler Buckner from San Diego. He said, I'm out. Why would you not leave? You think I'm just sit here and freeze in Notre Dame on the bench? Give me a break.
Yeah. Wait, I'm gonna go to South Bend. I'm gonna live in South Bend for a year, sit at the bench. I'm all set.
Yeah.
I love my state, but I wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah.
No,
the girls at Holy Cross are hot, but they're not that hot.
Yeah. Hey, there's a Hooters there. Good Hooters.
I don't even want to see pictures. Tyler Buckner, though, wants to be an NFL player. That's why he left, right? He's not there for Notre Dame just to get the degree. Say he's an alum, not wearing his Letterman jacket around at parties in Indiana. Not doing that move.
It's a ring.
Family functions. Oh, sorry, it's the ring. Hey, he wants to be an NFL quarterback. It'll be interesting to see how all that works out for him. All right, before we get out of here, let's give our predictions here on what's going to happen to the Chargers. Let's give the first 2 rounds. Who wants to go first?
I'll go.
What happens on Thursday? What happened Thursday and Friday, I should say.
Thursday, Friday, I'll go the first 2 picks. I think they go Zay Flowers, receiver. I think that's the pick they go with. Could be completely wrong. And then I think they go on the defensive line with the defensive lineman from Michigan in the second round.
All right, I'm going Jordan Addison, USC, going off the board first, 21st pick. Quick, explosive, caught touchdown, 7.5 receptions in college. Second-ranked receiver in the combine. One scout I read today called him the best route runner in the draft. Second pick at pick 55, Darnell Washington, Georgia tight end. That's my 2.
I'd be happy with both of those, man. If they got both of those, I'd be extremely happy with both of those. You know, as far as Addison goes, it's funny because, you know, do you draft a guy that played college football in the same city where your pro team is? Are there too many distractions? You know what I mean? I think, is that guy going to be all business is one of the questions the Chargers would have to ask. I would love it at the same time if they got him. I would. I'm gonna stay with my guys. Nothing's gonna change for me because we always try and guess which way the Chargers are gonna go and what direction they're gonna be because they're always a tough team to figure out. I said it a long time ago. I'm gonna go Jalen Hyatt. Still, is gonna be my wide receiver from Tennessee, and I'm still gonna go with the tight end. I'm going Luke Musgrave, Oregon State. It's gonna be my guys. Those are the two guys. And I think one of the reasons they're gonna go that way is they're gonna try and keep Justin Herbert happy and Kellen Moore happy. And I think that's what they need. They need both those guys.
One last thing before we leave this show. Do you believe that this draft is the role player draft? You know how there's some NBA drafts where you're like, there's going to be a lot of good role players in this draft. They're not like a lot of superstars. When I look at this draft, it look like a lot of solid NFL players, but not many superstars. Would you guys agree with that? I don't know on offense besides Bijan Robinson. How many guys are you saying, wow, like he's for sure, right? I don't see that many. Even Jackson Smith from Ohio State, he looks like a good NFL player. But am I going to say he's going to tear the league apart? Well, they said he wasn't better than Chris Olave and Marvin Harrison Jr., so why would I think that?
Yeah.
It's
top heavy. Yeah. Top heavy for sure.
Yeah, I mean, usually they say NFL draft is about 13, 14 deep. Is this draft 13, 14 deep? Was it 10
man.
deep?
You look at these receivers, they're good players, but how many of them really tore it up like that? Jordan Addison did at Pitt, but last year he was good. All the other receivers were good. None of them were like Devontae Smith or Amari Cooper, where they had these incredible seasons. We have one big-time running back. I don't know. I mean, the quarterbacks are all iffy. This is one of the few drafts where it's not a consensus number one pick, and people kind of don't know what's going to happen. We think it's going to be Bryce Young, but it's not for sure. I don't know. It's just the way I look at it.
I'm going to give you my prediction on the two guys that are going to be taken from this draft, offense and defense, that they're going to be around in 8 years and go, man, those guys were great. Okay?
I already know what you're going to say.
Too bad, my guys.
I don't think you – no.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
100% not going to do that, Mario. Yeah, on defense, Josh knows who I'm going to take. And it is an Alabama guy. It's Will Anderson. I think Will Anderson's a freak. Okay? Closest thing to Derek Thomas you've seen. Okay? On the offensive side, you guys – what did you just say? What did you say? Look, here we go.
Yeah, just the best overall guy in the draft that everyone's saying is.
No, well, I've watched him for his entire time, and I know he's a freak.
Wembanyama is going to be the best NBA player in the draft.
No, here's my best. Okay, I'll give you guys both a chance. I don't think you guys will guess what I'm going to say. Who's the best offensive guy in this draft that will be in 8 years? You're going to go all pro again.
Bijan Robinson.
Ooh, that's a good one. I'll go an underdog one that I really liked him in college, and I'm a big believer in him. And he probably go late first, second.
Purdue guy,
Georgia guy, actually smart ass. Keely Ringo. Is that?
No, he's not my guy. Yeah, I'm not looking for an underdog guy. No, I'm telling you, offensive guy in the draft that I think is going to be. And again, I might be way wrong.
Okay? Jordan Addison.
No, it's not. It's not a skill guy, dude. It's Paris Johnson Jr., offensive tackle, Ohio State.
He's a beast.
He's a beast. Yeah, I'm telling you. In 8 years, you're going to go, the guy's an all-pro again. That's my feeling. I could be way off. Everyone's going to say, you should have picked the Northwestern kid. I'm going with the Ohio State kid. But I think those are my two. If I had to do a camp, if I was a GM trying to keep my job, one of those two guys keeps my job.
Yeah, my whole point was there's not one offensive player in this draft where I say he's for sure going to be an all-pro every year. I don't feel that way about any of the guys. That's exactly how I feel. Yeah.
And everybody right now has Michael Mayer going to the Cowboys. Everybody. I mean, it seems like he's all over the place on these draft boards. You know,
need a tight end.
Yeah, but I mean that falls to number 26. 6 months ago, this guy was going in the top 10. I said on the show, I think I don't know where I said I was going to walk to, but I said if Michael Mayer's available at the Chargers when it's their turn to pick, I don't remember what the hell I said.
It was to Chicago. It was to Chicago.
Yeah, I think it was 7-Eleven in my neighborhood. There's no way in hell I'm walking to Chicago. I'll tell you right now, for Michael Mayer, especially Notre Dame guy, I'm not walking anywhere for Notre Dame guy. So he underachieved? Yeah, no way. I'm not doing that. But that's to me, that's going to be the biggest fall. When that guy falls, they better sit there and make a big deal about it. And go, man, this guy fell all the way to 26. Yeah, he fell all the way to 26. Let's talk about it. Anyway,
one proposed idea. We give out both our top two. Whoever's most accurate. The other two have to split cost and buy the other one Chargers gear.
All right,
Pretty
what
fair.
for
Sure,
accurate for
sure.
what? What's the what's what?
Just
What do you mean
accurate the
accurate
first
on
two.
on
Like
who
if
the
they get
Chargers
one of-
pick?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, why not?
I'm getting one of the first. I'm getting one at least.
I'm not getting
Yeah.
any of them.
That's-
I'm not
Size-
picking either guy. I bet I don't get
Si-
either guy.
Yeah, size XL.
All
I
right,
want a
double X
sweatshirt.
over here.
Light blue.
All right. Okay. You got it.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know why I'm giving my size. I'm not winning. No, I'm not winning.
Loser has to spend a weekend in South Bend. You can't go to a Notre Dame game. You just
Oh,
gotta
that's
embrace
oh,
it.
that would suck. That would
Yeah.
suck. Just have to embrace the sadness. Do the Rudy tour.
Yeah.
This is where
Yeah.
Rudy cried. This is where Rudy opened
Yeah.
his letter and got turned down. This is Rudy getting another semester at Holy Cross. Okay. That's funny. There you go. All right. So again, Josh and Mario will be back on Thursday. You want to give the details on that one, Mario?
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't put in your calendar yet, I'm kind of confused what you're doing. Maybe you've had a couple cocktails like everyone that's created these mock drafts, but let's get back to it. Let's get back to the details. The most important thing that the Odyssey draft show on April 27th with Brian Baldinger and Jason Lockenfora. Those are one of the two smartest guys in the business covering the NFL. They're hosting the Odyssey draft show. That starts at 7 p.m. ET. Go to YouTube, search Odyssey Sports. Boom. It's right up right there. Bang it out. You can go ahead, watch, and listen. And then the 21st pick of the NFL draft, Los Angeles Chargers select. Go ahead, pause it, then go to RC Sports YouTube, and you'll see me and Josh Palais with Jason Lockenfora and Brian Baldinger as we will react to the pick. If it's a receiver, we'll go nuts. If it's an edge rusher, we'll go nuts. But if it's a cornerback, we'll probably go, Tommy boy, you messed up. So that's the Odyssey draft show. Please, please, please tune in, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. Super, super excited about it. This has been in the making for quite a while, and it's really going to be great. So please, guys, tune in, and then make sure to tune in also to our post pod show that will be up after the draft. I have no idea when that will be up. That's going to be a late night for me making that. So don't get your hopes up. That's going to be up at right after at midnight. If you really think that, then go ahead and Venmo me money, and that can happen. But if not, then that's probably not going to happen. So that's it.
All right. So our next show, again, the Bolt City podcast, we're going to recap the entire draft of everything the Chargers did and what things to look forward to. We'll give it a grade, of course, like everybody does, but we're going to break down exactly how this helps the Chargers in 2023 because that's all we care about. Are the Chargers now in a position to make a run seriously at winning the Super Bowl? We'll talk about all that in the next Bolt City podcast. Again, thank you so much for listening and watching. You can catch the show on YouTube. Of course, you listen right there, the Bolt City podcast, courtesy of Odyssey Sports. For Josh Palais, Mario Heron, I'm Dave Palais. We'll talk to you next time.
Bolt up.